Hello Phương, nào Chibi có run không? Em cầm trên cái
Có nói gì em không?
bạn đang ở đâu đấy?
Đang ở nhà. Định là ở cơ quan để làm nhưng mà tại vì hôm nay tao nhiều việc quá.
Ừ.
Về
Vừa
nhà
đi Thanh Hóa xong đúng không?
vừa đi Thanh Hóa xong. Hello everyone, hello Long. Người Long.
Có nhiều người trong này lắm.
Công khai sợ gì? Xin chào các
Em
bạn.
sẽ phải
Từ khi sang bên này bạn ấy mới được sống thật.
Này nhưng mà có một câu hỏi cứ để nhắn tin riêng nhỉ?
Hai em bé ở đâu rồi?
Hai em bé về ngoại rồi.
Ờ, xong rồi chắc là bạn chat với lại Lauren đi. Không thấy Lauren.
Hello Lauren.
Chưa thấy Lauren đâu.
Lauren trẻ à?
Ừ.
ra có sẵn.
Nhưng mà đội này là đang ở IAE hay là ở nhà đấy?
Đang ở IE cho nó trật tự.
Ôi giời đất ơi. Ý chung kéo lại được mời bữa nữa.
Là sao?
Khéo qua đấy ăn xong lại còn được đi nhậu ấy chứ ai làm sao được.
Ừ. Biết nếu mà thế thì có khi lần sau chúng ta làm chương trình kiểu ngồi tự nói chuyện ấy. Rồi chúng ta đi nhậu với nhau sau.
Được, nhạc nào cũng nhảy.
Giờ cuối năm bạn còn bận không?
Ui bận, tháng 9 tao đi Pháp.
Xin visa chưa?
Đã xin đâu, đã tập trung cho cái Thanh Hóa về xong bây giờ mới quay lại cong đít lên visa Pháp với Cuba đây này.
Cuba hình như đâu có cần visa đâu đúng không?
Không visa như đi công tác thì hộ chiếu phổ thông sẽ phải dán, vẫn phải đến sự quan dán.
À, bao giờ làm xong rồi cho mình xin kinh nghiệm, mình gom tiền.
Đi Cuba hả?
Ừ.
Đắt vãi chưởng.
Ở vé máy bay mới đắt đúng không? Chứ còn kinh phí các thứ ở bên đấy thì đâu có đắt lắm đâu.
Máy bay đắt, còn lại thì bên đấy ít khách sạn lắm, mà khách sạn thì sẽ rất đắt, toàn 300-400 đô thôi, nhưng mà nếu mà ở kiểu homestay nhà thì rẻ.
Ừ.
Ôi xem nào, mình sẽ trình bày những cái gì đầu, xem câu hỏi nào.
Chúng ta sẽ lướt lướt qua một số các cái sticker.
Ừ.
Student life này, student community này. Um,
Nhưng mà cái buổi này là không có các bạn học sinh tham gia đâu ấy, đúng không? Hay như thế
có
nào?
các bạn học sinh đang chờ ở ngoài. Mình sẽ có khoảng
Bạn xin có tại không?
Sao? Nó sẽ bê máy ngoài ấy hả?
không, các bạn ấy đang chờ ở phòng waiting room trong Zoom. Thì mình đang chưa cho các bạn ấy vào.
Hey, do I look so young to be inexperienced alumni?
Bút. Lauren vào rồi. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. How are you? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, yes, I am. So
Good.
I would like to introduce Miss Phoebe. She is
Hi, Phoebe.
Phoebe, can you introduce yourself?
Well, hi, thanks, Alex. Hi, Lauren, I guess it's morning.
It's about lunchtime.
Oh, it's about lunchtime. It's been too long since the last time. I got the idea of a time difference. Well, my name is Phoebe. I am so honored and feel so delighted to be here today.
Sorry, it seems that people turn on their mic. Let me change. Okay.
Do you allow me to mute myself?
Yeah.
Okay. So my name is Phoebe. At the moment I'm working for the radio, the National Radio of Vietnam. So I studied in the Newcastle, I think more than 10 years ago, back in 2010, I guess. So I'm so delighted to be invited by my friend Alex from IAE to talk a little bit about my old experience with Newcastle.
It's not changed very much, Phoebe. It's still very much the same up here in the Northeast.
Okay, so I guess, but I still, like receiving a lot of notification mail from Newcastle Association, I guess. I don't remember exactly the name of those associations, but it was like part of my student life. So I still receive a lot of notification email. So I hope that there are now more kind of vibrant and more dynamic activities over there.
Yeah, there definitely is. There's been a lot of change over the last few years in terms of like the opportunities for students, and I'll talk a little bit about them when I get going. But it's just so lovely to reconnect with our alumni. You're so like valued by the university, and we're just so thankful that you're kind of spreading the message about Newcastle and how great it is, and it's just really lovely to see that you had such a positive experience, and hopefully prospective students will have that experience too when they come.
Well, yes. Are there still a lot of squirrel in the campus?
Yeah.
Okay. Because it's been it's been 13 years already, so I'm not sure that what I can share with the students today can still valuable to them, but I would try my best.
Yeah, and I think any experience of studying in the UK is valuable when talking to students about the opportunities that are available to them, and being able to promote that is just invaluable whenever you went abroad. I don't think it necessarily matters that it was 12, 13 years ago. We're still just fortunate to hear from you and your experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I was like studying at the media and journalism faculty. I don't remember the name of the faculty, but I was studying media and PR. So at that time, PR was still a very new concept. It was like a very practical kind of like things, but it was not really conceptualized to be like zero how do you say like zero to be put into theory for people to study. So there was not many kind of like theory for the students to study, but that was a very fantastic experience for me because I was like assigned a lot of assignment and tasks by the teacher to do a lot of kind of how to say like events and go out to see the people and celebrities for our like coming event. So but I think PR now at Newcastle has a lot more kind of activity to be able to catch up with the situation. But back in those days, it was like just every student was new to that. So we seems to be like the very first generation that studied public relations in Newcastle.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, and the media and social media and PR has changed so rapidly in kind of the last decade. And obviously when you were studying, you were right at the beginning of that, right at the forefront.
Right.
So obviously over the years, our programs have kind of changed a little bit and kind of moved with the times, which is why Newcastle is such a great university. We're kind of, we're a member of the Russell Group. We're a world leading research university. So it's really important that we're like right at the front there and leading the way, as it were, in industry and all aspects of our, courses that we offer, but particularly in kind of the media and culture side. Yeah.
Right. That's why a lot of people are really into media and journalism, because it's like changing every day, and day by day you learn new things. Even me, working for the national media company, I'm still learning it every day. So I mean, like, it's good for a student when they start something new, when the one who has a lot of like curiosity, they will find it really interesting to study this media and journalism.
Yeah, definitely. And so your program, was it a undergraduate program or a master's program that you studied with us?
I studied master program, and well, I was back in those days, I didn't have a lot of media experiences, even though I worked for Voice of Vietnam. I mean, the name of the company is Voice of Vietnam, VOV in short. So back in those days, I started working for Voice of Vietnam for just like almost a year before I applied for studying at the university. So I was really hesitating about what exactly do I want for my future career. So when I was like looking for like future job, there's a lot of lists coming out, over the internet, and I was like a bit hesitating about which university, which part of the UK should I go for. A lot of people say that you should go to like the very central, like London, and further to the southern part of the UK. But when it comes to PR, there was not so many kind of suggestion and options for me at that time. And as far as I remember, that Newcastle was like amongst a very little, just a few universities back in those days offer public and relations, and let alone that Newcastle University are still, but I think should I use the present tense or past tense, but like it was like one of the very top ranking when it comes to media. So that's why when the an agent gave me a list to choose from, I went for the Newcastle because I saw the rank of the university, and I think ranking is one of the most thing that the parents are concerned about when they decided to whether or not they will decide to send their children, because that's a totally new environment. So if they are not going to risk their children's life by going to a more affordable one, then so I think the ranking should be the first to make a decision, and then like the name in, so they need to choose how do you say, like the major, right? So the rank in the total picture of the UK and in the world, but also like within that very niche market, like whether it's like media or PR, so which university should come the first. So I was lucky that my agent was really good at that time, and she strongly recommended me, like, you should go for Newcastle. So when I was at like Newcastle University, I studied together with a lot of Vietnamese students, but they are more studying at Northumbria. Is that the name of the neighbor university?
Yeah, the university across the road.
Yeah, right across the corner. I don't remember exactly, but it's really big one. A lot of Vietnamese students went there, but there's a very few students.
Thank you so much for this such a lot of energy for the warm up part. We quite spent 6 minutes of, you know, the
I
first.
think we could talk forever about
Yeah.
Newcastle, Alex,
Right.
so you could probably steer us in the right direction.
I think that that our student, you know, were very happy that Phoebe is here to sharing everything about the university and the time that she experienced in the university. However, I would like to start this webinar, you know, very formal before you guys can have more time to chat together. So students, I would like, on behalf of IE Global, I would like to introduce you, Ms. Lauren Marriot. She is the International Recruitment Manager of Southeast Asia from Newcastle University. And after this short introduction, Lauren will introduce about the university, which is very high-ranked university from the UK. And I also would like to introduce Ms. Phoebe Nguyễn. She is a Vietnamese, Newcastle University alumni back in the past, and her major is in PR and communication from the university, and she is now working for our national, Voice of Vietnam, VOV. So I think that all the students here today, if you guys interested in working in marketing and communication and PR, they will have lots of questions for you guys, both in, for university and also for the person who work really in the industry. So may I go through the agenda today? I would like to spend about 5 minutes to introduce about IE Global and how IE Global have been supporting our students in Vietnam. And in the next 10 minutes, will be, hand over to Ms. Lauren Marriot to, share all the amazing things of the university. So now I would like to start with the IAE profile. Before that, I would like to use the Vietnamese so that I can speak it quicker. And I would like to check if our student can understand well in English, or if you need any translation, then please kindly let me know. Chào các bạn, chị vừa mới đi qua một cái giới thiệu nho nhỏ về hai nhân vật sẽ có mặt ngày hôm nay và sẽ chia sẻ thông tin về ngành học liên quan đến truyền thông PR và về trường đại học Newcastle, một trong trường thuộc Russell Group, thuộc top 20 trường đại học lớn nhất ở Anh Quốc, cũng như là có cái lịch sử lâu đời nhất. Thì trước khi mà bắt đầu cái buổi ngày hôm nay, chị muốn hỏi là các bạn nghe tiếng Anh ổn cả đúng không? Có bạn nào cần chị phiên dịch lại hoặc là tóm tắt lại sau mỗi cái phần giới thiệu này không? Vì phần của IAE chị sẽ nói bằng tiếng Việt cho nhanh, còn phần của cô Lauren thì cô sẽ nói bằng tiếng Anh. Thì nếu như trong trường hợp các em cần hỗ trợ thì các em chat ở trong chat box giúp chị số 1 nhé, để chị có thể biết được cái tỷ lệ là bao nhiêu và chị có cần phải dịch kỹ không, hay là chị chỉ cần dịch nhanh thôi. Okay. Ok. Sơn nghe được đúng không? Chị đoán là bạn nào mà cần giúp ấy, thì cứ chat ở trong cái chat box thì chị sẽ dừng vào cái thời điểm mà cô ấy nói để có thể giải thích kỹ hơn cho mọi người. Còn sau đây chị sẽ bắt đầu cái phần của chị luôn. Về IE Global thì chắc là khi mọi người đăng ký mọi người đã biết cái tên của công ty rồi. Thì chị chỉ có 5 phút để thuyết trình, chị chỉ muốn tập trung vào các điểm sau. Thứ nhất là IE Global là công ty tư vấn giáo dục đứng thứ 6 toàn cầu. Và mạng lưới của IE Global có mặt ở các cái quốc gia bao gồm Trung Quốc, Hồng Kông, Ấn Độ. Khu vực Đông Nam Á thì hiện giờ có Thái Lan và Việt Nam. Tất cả các học sinh từ các quốc gia này đều sẽ được hỗ trợ để thực hiện cái ước mơ du học đến các cái quốc gia như là Úc, Ta, New Zealand, Vương quốc Anh, hoặc có thể là các cái quốc gia mà không nói tiếng Anh khác, ví dụ như Trung Quốc hoặc Hàn Quốc, là hiện giờ bọn chị đang có những cái chương trình như vậy. Và bắt đầu từ năm 1992 cho đến giờ thì văn phòng đã tồn tại hơn 30 năm. Trong đó tại Việt Nam là bọn chị đã có mặt trên 6 năm rồi. Và địa chỉ mà các bạn có thể ghé qua là 23 Cao Bá Quát. Thì mọi người có thể trải nghiệm những cái service ví dụ như là tư vấn trực tiếp với lại tư vấn viên của bên chị. Hầu hết mọi người, các tư vấn viên đều có kinh nghiệm trên 5 năm trong cái lĩnh vực tư vấn du học, cũng như là có một cái khoảng thời gian rất là dài các anh chị hỗ trợ các bạn học sinh đi với các quốc gia khác nhau. Thì mọi người có thể nhìn có các cái con số ở trên màn hình. Cái này nếu như mà các bạn quan tâm thì chị có thể gửi lại sau cho các bạn. Và đây là một số hình ảnh của văn phòng các nước. Thì khác với lại các cái bên trung tâm tư vấn du học khác thì bọn chị tập trung nhiều hơn vào chất lượng dịch vụ cũng như là cái hoạt động trực tiếp dành cho sinh viên để các bạn có thêm nhiều các cái mối quan hệ mới, hoặc là có cái trải nghiệm mà nó sát với nhau hơn nữa. Thay vì là chỉ có một mình em được chị tư vấn chăm sóc để đi du học, thì bọn chị sẽ cố gắng để tạo thêm, tức là giúp em có cái mạng lưới bạn bè nó rộng hơn ở Úc, ở Canada hay là ở London. Đó là các cái hoạt động của IAE. Tại Việt Nam thì bọn chị có những cái hoạt động nó ờ, mang tính thiết thực hơn. Chị sẽ bỏ qua những cái phần mà nó rất là giống với lại các công ty khác. Thay vào đó thì chị muốn nhấn mạnh những cái hoạt động mà hiện giờ IAE có thể support. Thứ nhất là về mà sắp xếp nhà ở cho các bạn. Thì bọn chị không làm việc với các gia đình tư nhân mà chỉ làm việc với các đối tác lớn, tức là họ sẽ có trách nhiệm trong việc sắp xếp và hỗ trợ cho sinh viên quốc tế. Họ có cái tính chuyên nghiệp hơn so với lại các nhà ở tư nhân. Tiếp theo đấy là các cái dịch vụ liên quan đến bảo hiểm. Cái này thì khi mà các em đi học nó sẽ quan trọng với các em hơn là khi các em ở nhà. Thì ví dụ như mình cần một ai đó support, hay mình cần có những cái đơn vị mà bảo vệ quyền lợi của mình, thì bảo hiểm là một trong số những cái bên mà chị thấy là các bạn sẽ rất là cần thiết trong tương lai. Ngoài ra tại Việt Nam thì bắt đầu từ khi thành lập, bọn chị có một series các cái dự án liên quan đến hỗ trợ cho người trẻ, bao gồm có CTS hay là Career Talk Series. Thì những cái chương trình này được diễn ra tùy theo vào cái nhu cầu của các bạn. Trong quá khứ thì bên chị đã có những cái diễn giả như trên màn hình mà mọi người có thể nhìn thấy ở đây. Và các cái mảng mà bọn chị đã lướt qua thì bao gồm có marketing, bao gồm có fintech, international business, hay là có những cái mảng liên quan đến du lịch khách sạn hoặc là human resource management. Thậm chí là sẽ có những cái mảng liên quan đến phần tâm lý học của sinh viên. Và các cái hoạt động này thì được phối hợp với lại các trường đại học và các trường cấp 3, hoặc với một nhóm các bạn quan tâm, ví dụ như với UX UI thì đây là một trong những cái mảng rất là niche. Cho nên là bọn chị sẽ chỉ có những cái hoạt động tập trung vào những bạn quan tâm đến cái mảng này thôi. Và ngoài ra thì chúng ta sẽ IAE thì có một loạt các cái hoạt động khác để hỗ trợ, đặc biệt là liên quan đến cái phần vận hành một dự án truyền thông, giống như là trên hình mọi người đã đọc á, thì bọn chị có một cái dự án như vậy gọi là IAE Global Ambassador. Và hiện giờ là cái bạn mà thắng của chương trình IAE Global Ambassador này hiện đang đi thực tập tại Thái Lan. Và hy vọng là trong tuần sau là bọn chị có thể gửi nhiều tư liệu hơn để mọi người thấy rằng là cái chương trình thực tập ở nước ngoài nó sẽ khác như thế nào. Đấy là những cái mà bọn chị đang muốn tập trung nhiều để các bạn sinh viên ở Việt Nam, các bạn sẽ được trải nghiệm nhiều hơn, cũng như là tìm thấy được là mình đang cần cái gì và muốn cái gì, chứ không chỉ là học một cái chương trình mà thị trường họ đang cần, hay là có thể là thậm chí nó không phù hợp với mình chẳng hạn. Thì đấy là những cái mà chị đang muốn nhấn mạnh ở đây. Thì ngoài những thứ mà hỗ trợ các bạn ấy ra thì bọn chị cũng có những cái hoạt động mà liên quan đến gọi là giải trí, chữa lành, vân vân. Thì những cái này chắc là mọi người follow Facebook của IE thì sẽ biết được nhiều hơn. Đơn giản là những cái hoạt động như là chị đang show ở đây thì hy vọng là IE có thể đồng hành cùng các bạn trong tương lai sắp tới, cả với chương trình cấp 3 lẫn chương trình đại học hoặc là các trường cao đẳng tại Việt Nam. Rồi mọi người có thể liên hệ lại hoặc là chat với bọn chị sau đây. Yeah, I have just finished the part of IE Global and what we have been doing with, what we have been supporting the Vietnamese students in Hanoi. And now I would like to pass this this presentation to you. Lauren, do you want to share any presentation?
Yeah, if that's okay, Alex, I've prepared some slides.
Okay. And turn it off.
Okay. Can everyone see my screen okay?
I think that let me share with you wait for me. Oh, sorry. Can you?
It's okay.
No.
I think that. Can you please kindly share it again? It seems that
Yeah, of course.
Put it wrong.
Can you see that okay? Yeah, you can, Phoebe? Okay, cool. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining us today. I really do appreciate it. As Alex said, my name is Lauren Marriot. I'm the Regional Manager for Southeast Asia here at Newcastle University. So I just wanted to talk to you a little bit today about who we are at Newcastle and a little bit about the kind of media and communications programs that we offer. So we've been a university since 1834, so a very, very long time. And we really kind of pride ourselves with our outstanding global reputation and a centre for academic excellence. As Alex said, we're a member of the Russell Group, which is an elite group of 23, 24 universities around the UK that are world leading in the research that they conduct. We're a top, this is a little bit out of date now, we're a top 130 university and a top 20 UK university with 12 subjects ranked inside the top 10 in the Complete University Guide last year. And obviously, as I mentioned, we are a member of the Russell Group, along with universities like Oxford, Cambridge, Manchester, Leeds, up and down the country. We're in the top 30 in the world in the QS rankings for sustainability at our university, and 95% of our graduates are in work or further study within 6 months of graduating, and we're in the top 90 in the world for employer reputation as well. A little bit about the campus landscape itself. We have over 120 nationalities represented on campus. 25% of our staff are from outside the UK. We have over 5,000 international students on campus. And we also have campuses not too far from you in Vietnam. We have a campus in Malaysia and a campus in Singapore as well. Which obviously, if you're interested in those, we can talk about those too. We are a very lively, friendly student city. I'm sure Phoebe can attest to that during her time at Newcastle. As Phoebe mentioned a bit earlier, there are actually 2 different universities in the city of Newcastle. So there's us, and then there's Northumbria as well. So together, there's about 50,000 students in the city. So the city is really student focused, and we notice over the summer it goes a lot quieter when the students go away for summer. So, you know, there's lots to see, lots to do, lots of kind of pubs, clubs, bars, restaurants, art galleries, museums, gig venues, comedy venues. There's lots going on in the city every night. And definitely, you know, whilst you come to university to study, it really is the city that is going to be your home for however long the duration of your program is. And we just want you to feel as welcome as possible, and you will be. For those of you who don't know where Newcastle is, you can see the little pin up here. We're based right up in the northeast of England. We have our own international airport, which is about 20 minutes from the campus, and you can fly in direct via Paris, Amsterdam, London, Dubai, Frankfurt. So as you can see, we're very, very far north. We're about 90 minutes on a train from Edinburgh in Scotland, and we're about 3 hours north of London on a train. So as you can see there, right up in the north, so it does get quite cold throughout the year. It is one thing that our international students do have to acclimatise to. It is a lot colder here than it is in Hanoi or Ho Chi Minh City. So it is something that we prepare our students for in our pre-departure briefings, but we're also by the sea as well. So the campus is about 25 minutes from the beach. On the metro, which is like our public transport rail system, so really close. So lots of beautiful, breathtaking scenery as well for you to look at while you're here. A few more kind of statistics and rankings for you. So we're the 3rd best student city in England and top 40 globally, and one of the most affordable cities to live in the UK as well. We have a lot of international students talking about wanting to go to London or other big cities around the UK. And while that's great, and it's, you know, some people really enjoy it, it's very, very expensive to live in places like London. In the northeast, in Newcastle, it's very, very affordable. And I've got a slide later that takes you through kind of what you would expect to pay in terms of your cost of living. As I mentioned, it's a very student-heavy city, which also means it's incredibly safe, and one of the friendliest cities in England as well. We are a hub for innovation, technology, advanced manufacturing, and the arts. And there's lots of activities going on, not just at the university, but around the city as well. It is also, surprisingly, one of the driest cities in the UK. We get less rain than Washington, DC, Seattle, even less rain than New York in Newcastle. So while it might be colder, it won't be as wet. And as I said, there's lots to do. So this is a picture of the beach that's not far from campus. Phoebe, this must bring back some memories for you. We've got Tynemouth, Long Sands Beach there. That's a nice warm day. And we've also got a region steeped in history as well. So there's Hadrian's Wall that was built by the Romans to protect them from the Scottish when they were over in England. These are some photos of the city centre. So as you can see, we've got some kind of grand old style buildings, Georgian buildings, mixed with quite new buildings as well in the city centre. And these are some photos down by the quayside as well. So as well as being not too far from the sea, we also have a river that runs through the city, the River Tyne. And down on the banks of the River Tyne, there are lots of great restaurants, places to eat. It's really lovely to go down there for a walk. Every Sunday, they have local street food vendors come and serve food. And it's just a really nice place to go and relax with friends. And for the football fans amongst you, you probably know Newcastle United. Everybody in the city of Newcastle supports Newcastle United. We're a one-team city. So whenever there's a match on, there is a buzz around the city. Newcastle fans are some of the most loyal fans in the world. So, you know, when you come and study with us, hopefully you'll get a chance to go to St. James's Park and watch a game. As I mentioned, we are a city centre campus, so that means that all of your classrooms, lectures are right in the city centre, and our student accommodation is located in the city centre as well. But that doesn't mean we're not a beautiful campus. Here are some photos of the campus. So you can see we've got kind of the traditional red brick buildings. I always think it looks a bit like Harvard University when I look at these photos, but it is really beautiful, our main campus, and we're very, very fortunate. And that on campus as well, there's lots of places to study and eat and just enjoy the surroundings. And across the city, about a 10-minute walk from this main campus that I just showed you, we have Newcastle Helix and our business school. Now this is part of a £500 million investment from the government in collaboration with the university to really put students in the heart of industry. So all of these buildings are learning spaces for our students from business, computing, arts and creative industries, but also in all these office spaces, there are actual companies as well working, and you can kind of get internships there. It's really about encouraging our students to work alongside industry professionals and get that kind of feel for what it's going to be like when they go into the working world. So it is a really lovely addition to our campus, and it's just a 10-minute walk from the main campus as well. So you can see here, they're just on either side. So you have the main campus over here on the left, you've got St. James's Park in the middle there, and then on the right, you've got Newcastle Helix. We also offer some world-class teaching at the university. So our teaching goes across 3 different faculties. So we have our Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences, our Faculty of Agriculture and Engineering, and our Faculty of Medical Sciences as well. All of our media, communications, film, communications, journalism programs sit within our Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences. And in terms of accommodation, student experience, student support, we do have guaranteed accommodation for all international students who have Newcastle as a firm choice and apply before the deadline. Prices cost anywhere from £98 a week right up to kind of, the more expensive £130 a week. It just depends on your lifestyle and what your budget is. And the majority of student accommodation is a 10-minute walk from campus. We do have a variety of options to suit your needs. So we have self-catered apartments, where we have apartments with private bathrooms or shared bathroom facilities, and we can also do mix or single gender depending on your preference. And there are plenty of off-campus options available as well. We also have our new student guarantee. These are the dates for this year, but they'll be similar next year. About our accommodation. So you must be about to start your first year of an undergraduate or taught postgraduate program at Newcastle, and it must be for at least 1 full academic year. And you need to have applied as a single student for your full accommodation. It's normally around the end of June that deadline is, and Newcastle must be your firm choice by that date as well. And if you're a postgraduate student, you need to have met the conditions of your offer by the end of June. In terms of what to do while you're at Newcastle, we do have our Students' Union, which has over 200 societies and over 60 sport clubs. And we also recently invested £30 million into our sports centre, including world-class gym facilities, studio spaces, high performance strength and conditioning suites. There's some artificial pitches. We're quite a sporty university, so if you like sport, it's a great place to come and get involved and work in some kind of top-notch facilities. But clubs and societies as well make up a big part of student life. We have our International Student Society, we have our Vietnamese Student Society, where you can meet other Vietnamese students and form a community with them. But we have other societies as well. So we have our baking society, we have our kind of arts and crafts society. There's lots to get involved with. And we have our media societies as well, which I'll talk about a little bit later. But there's plenty to get involved with. I think extracurricular activities that you get involved with during part of your degree are the things that are really going to set you apart when it comes to employment later in life. Being able to say that you participated in extracurricular activities or even led one of these clubs or societies is really going to give you additional skills when you go out to apply for jobs, skills like leadership, communication, teamwork, and it really makes you a more well-rounded individual when it comes to applying for jobs. In terms of support that we offer at the university, so we offer pre-arrival and arrival support, including your very own International Student Welcome Week. We do a lot of work to support our students' mental health, counselling and group work, plus we even occasionally have puppies and other animals on campus to help lift people's spirits. We are ranked third in the UK diversity and inclusion, so we want to make sure that our university is a welcoming environment where everyone feels safe. We do offer specialist learning support and disability support for those students with additional needs. And we also offer some really good financial guidance and emergency loans for our students. Our campus is a very safe place to be, but we also have 24/7 campus security just to make sure that you're well looked after on campus. And of course, we have our award-winning careers service as well. The thing I like most about our careers service is you can still access it for up to 3 years after you graduate. So that can be anything from assisting you with looking for jobs, assisting you with preparing for interviews, looking at your CV or resume, and it, you know, really preparing you for life after graduation. So this is the cost of living slide that I was talking about. So this is kind of the basics budget that you would be looking at. You can see some of them are kind of from a lower cost to a much higher cost. And as I said, this just depends on your budget and your lifestyle. If you're happy to live a bit more of a basic lifestyle, then obviously look at the lower end of the numbers. If you're more lavish or more bougie, then you might want to look at the higher end of numbers to get a more realistic understanding of what your cost of living is going to be. Obviously, you can find all of this doesn't include our tuition fees, but all of our tuition fees are available on our university website. It just depends on the course that you're interested in. In terms of our kind of communications and media programs, these are the undergraduate programs that we offer. So we have media, communications and cultural studies, journalism, media and culture, film and media, digital cultures and media, and film practices. But we also have our PR related courses as well, and marketing courses available too. And all these are also available at master's level. As I said, it's all on our website, so you can go and have a look and check those out. With kind of our media programs, we always like to tell our students to get involved with our student media as well. So we have the Courier, which is our student newspaper. So it's written by students for students. We have NSR, which is our student radio station, and we have NUTV as well. And they produce a lot of video content for the university, but also for themselves and their own projects as well. So it's definitely worth getting involved with them if you're considering a career in media or communications. In terms of kind of opportunities after you graduate, these are some of the areas that our students have gone into. So print and broadcast journalism, broadcast production, social media, script writing, PR, communications, advertising, the list goes on. And here are just a couple of examples of where our graduates have gone on to work. So we have graduates working for the Financial Times, for the Bank of Scotland, for the Daily Mail as well. And we have some really, really great Southeast Asian graduate stories on our website. I would really encourage you to go and have a little look at them and learn more about where our Southeast Asian graduates are going. And that's kind of it. I realise I talk very, very fast. And if there are any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. If I go back to our media programs, just some kind of statistics around our media programs. So we're 7th in the UK for communication and media studies, and our media programs are 10th in the UK in the Guardian Guide as well. We're 16th in the UK in the Guardian for film and media, and yeah, we're 4th in the UK in the Sunday Times Good University Guide for our communications programs as well. So, you know, as Alex said, some really, really highly ranked areas for us, and it is something we're really proud of and we really value. There that's just my email address if anyone has any information, but obviously you can go through kind of Alex's team at IAE as well, and they've got a great team there of counsellors that know everything there is to know. They probably know more about Newcastle than I do, and they would be more than happy to assist you. And you know, we choose our partners very, very carefully, so we know that our students are going to be well looked after, and that's why we work with IAE. We really value the support they provide our students. I'll stop sharing my screen. I'm happy to answer any questions that anyone has. If you don't feel confident kind of typing in English or something, I'm sure we can translate, maybe, Alex, if someone wants to write in Vietnamese.
Phương Thanh, she asks if she wants to ask you a question, and then she can use English or Vietnamese. But actually, because all of you can use English well, so please kindly unmute yourself and freely ask Lauren about the university and the program. So anyone, do you have any question? Are you curious about the program? Okay.
Yeah, so entry requirements. So I'll talk about both. I know obviously Phuong, your question is about the MA Journalism and Media program. Typically we would look for a GPA of 7.0 out of 10 and above in a 4-year bachelor's degree from a public university, which is comparable to a 2-1 in the UK. But if you have maybe just below that, if you have like a 6 or a 6.5, definitely get in touch with us, because we can be quite flexible on our entry requirements. And in terms of our undergraduate requirements, in case anyone's interested in that, we do, I don't know if any of you are from international schools or anything like that, but we typically it would be the equivalent of an A and 2 Bs at A level. So that might be like a 2 years at bachelor level for a Vietnamese degree to then come over for entry maybe into 2nd year or 1st year. And so yeah, but you know, we can be really flexible, but around a 7.0 GPA in your bachelor's degree would be what we were looking for.
So he has a question. Can you share chances for internship or work placement during or after the program?
Yeah, absolutely, of course. So we have some excellent links with industry, and we're really proud to be able to offer a wide range of internships. If you are doing an undergraduate program, there's the opportunity to take a year out of your studies and do a full year in industry, and we would help you find that internship or placement. If you're doing a postgraduate degree, obviously there are still the options there for internships and placements. And as I said, our careers service are more than happy to help you find that, but also links within the school itself as well. They're very often promoting different opportunities for internships and placements during people's studies. So, you know, really, really exciting internships as well. In terms of after the program, obviously it's quite an exciting time to be coming to study in the UK, because you can stay and work at the moment for up to 2 years after you graduate. So if that was something you were looking at, remember you have access to that careers service for 3 years after you graduate, so we can support you in finding the right thing for you as well.
Mention about the internship and work placement. Phoebe, are you there?
Oh, yes, definitely. I'm here.
Yeah, I would like to have more insight from you during the time that you study in the university. Do you have any internship or work placement back then?
Well, actually, I think because back in those days, I am not, I dare not to say anything so definite, because it's been like more than 10 years already. But back in those days, 10 years ago, when I was studying at the university, Newcastle University, I spent most of the time, like, how to say, like I was really into activities, and media and public relations, which I was studying, gave me a lot of chance to go out and to talk and to communicate with people. So for example, like you don't even have time to do internship during your study because you've learned a lot during your course of study, you know. So I don't know whether or not it's now changing or not, but yeah, it was really helpful for the student to study and to practice at the same time, right? So well, and I think for media, that's even more important than like kind of you know, you earn money from something, but you earn a lot of knowledge and skill during your studying time. Does it make sense to everyone?
Yeah, I would like to, you know, have more details, especially when it linked to the second question from, so
Well,
yeah, that is about the program balance, theoretical with practical skills development at the university. And yeah, please
well,
feel
if
free to-
I have to share anything about the course and the study, I think media and journalism and communication students are the one who are more beneficial from the study than any other type of student, because you've learned along the way, right? So you're not going to school just to make sure that you fill in the attendance form and then you just like go falling asleep, you know, with a lot of rhetorical and theoretical framework, but you like you study and then you go out for a lot of exercise. So what I mean by that is that, like, if for example university professors gave us a lot of assignments, you know, like, so we had to go out to meet with especially the local authorities to do a lot of interview. We had to create and produce a lot of reports. We was like assigned a lot of multimedia skill back in those days when multimedia was like a very new emerging term for the media student. But nowadays I guess it's digital skills. So we've been like doing a lot of multiple things at the same time while we were studying at the university. So I think that's why I always encourage my students and my friends, if they have any kind of, you know, like plan to send their children out for study, then I would always ask them that let's think about media, because after, you know, like graduation from university from the media courses, your children, your my friends will earn a lot of things compared to many other. So yeah.
I think that's a really good point, Phoebe. And I think, you know, it's the skills you get from doing a media degree. So my degree, I didn't go to Newcastle, but my degree was film and media. And I work in recruitment, and a lot of the skills I learned in my degree have set me up for a career in recruitment and, you know, kind of working in a university setting. So all these skills you'll learn are transferable. And, you know, in terms of the program balance, one of the really beautiful things about Newcastle is you can choose that balance. So obviously we have a lot of theoretical based kind of modules and classes you can take, but as your optional ones, you do have some really hands-on ones as well. You know, we've got kind of broadcast journalism, filmmaking, radio production, all of those different modules that give you kind of the hands-on when you're in filming with cameras, in the edit suite, recording things. It really gives you that hands-on practical experience. So you can have the best of both. You don't have to just stick with the theory if you want that practical experience. The option is there for you. So I guess, Hong-sun, the answer to your question is it's whatever balance you want it to be. The opportunity is there to have a more practical based degree if you want it, or to have a more theoretical one if that's more appropriate for kind of your ambitions and your long-term goals.
May I have a question for Phoebe? That is this about the student life when you were there? Could you please paint a picture for us of what student life is like in Newcastle?
Well, that's a very good question. I think it should come back to the reason why I chose Newcastle in the first place. We had multiple choices as a student in the UK, because Newcastle is not just like one of the top-notch universities in the UK, but also I chose the city because of the city itself, because of the ancient buildings when I was a student. So I think, you know, like if Newcastle would be a great choice for the different type of students. Like what I mean by that is that a lot of students are more kind of extrovert. So they prefer going to the central part of the UK, like London, or like further to the southern part of the UK. And some are very introverts, so they prefer going to the countryside. But Newcastle is a bit different. Newcastle is like the mixture of the modern and you know, like a very historical kind of place. So you will feel it's very exciting if you are there, because like when I was in Newcastle, I was like hesitating about going out and talking to people, because a lot of people like worried me about the local people when they were like speaking the very strong accent in the castle. Even though my English at that time was not that bad, but I was like, you know, very worried about whether or not I can survive there if I couldn't communicate with the local people. But when I got there, Newcastle people were totally different from other part of England. I went to London, I went to the southern part of London, a lot of part, but Newcastle people, they are very friendly, I would say. So you wouldn't feel like you are, I mean, like you will feel like you are home, because there's a lot of people out there are willing to help you. So I think this city is a kind of the safe, friendly, and you know, very, how to say, like vibrant city, if I would say, which is good for you to explore in your student life.
Mhm. I think it's not too far from Manchester.
No, it's not. It's just 2 hours on the train to Manchester. That's
But
where
for
I'm from. I'm from Manchester.
all what I need, you know, I spent half of my student life in Newcastle and traveling just about to a number cities in the UK, but Newcastle was like having every kind of most you know, it's kind of the representation of the architecture of the UK, I would say.
Mm. So what about the student community of you know?
Oh, they are very helpful, I would say. Yes, there's a lot of societies and groups and association that will feel like they're just like next to your door whenever you need something, when you need some, because when I was in the UK, I was like on my own. I didn't go there with my friends. So, and Newcastle students, there are not many Vietnamese students studying in Newcastle back in those days, more than 10 years ago. Only some of us are like the Vietnamese one. You know, like, but I had never felt like I was alone, because it's like the Newcastle University, my classes are kind of have the variety of the people from different part of the world. So some of them are from Taiwan, some of them are from Canada, and some of them are from like, you know, New Zealand. So I mean, like I always feel like if I need any help, there's gonna be somebody out there. And because I was part of, you know, was not really into any kind of sport activities, but I was joining the swimming club, you know. So I swam a lot when I was in the UK. So I met a lot of friends there. I made acquainted with a lot of you know, like friends, international friends. So I feel like, you know, it's like my family. And because I mentioned earlier that Newcastle is really safe. So I think safety, security, and friendliness are of the factors that will make you feel really like you are home. So
Yeah, I would agree with that, Phoebe, wholeheartedly. Yeah.
Okay. So what about the biggest challenge that you face when you were, you know, at that time? Like
It's
for
challenging.
students, yeah.
Well, must be like most of the shopping mall closed at 6. It's not like Vietnam, like it's like a 24-hour services, but not just in the UK, but many other part of the world. Most of these services are closed at 6. So it's really challenging if you want to go out and buy something, hang out after 6, except for pub and bar and clubs. Lawrence, you're shaking.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It is very different. We're a bit better now. So a lot of places are open to kind of 8 p.m. now. But Phoebe's right. It is a little bit different. I think talking about challenges, I don't know, Phoebe, if you found this. I have to explain to students from Southeast Asia about the sunrise and sunset in the UK. So right now in the UK, it's summer, because kind of in Southeast Asia, it kind of goes light and goes dark at the same time round about each day. It doesn't work that way in right up in the north. So in the summer, our days are very, 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 very long. So it goes light at like 4:30, 5 a.m. and doesn't go dark till like 9:30, 10 p.m. But then in the winter, we have very, very, very short amount of daylight. So it doesn't get properly light until about 8:30, 9 a.m. and it goes dark at 4 p.m. And I had some students from Malaysia visit me 2 weeks ago. And they said, Lauren, does it ever go dark in the UK? And I was like, yes, it does. It's just summer at the moment. So it's a lot lighter because we're very far north. And it's something that I'd never really thought to tell students about, because obviously when students arrive, it's getting into winter time, the days are shorter, it's very, very dark, and that's probably quite difficult for students to be able to deal with, when it's winter, it's dark all the time, it's cold, it's miserable. So being able, I think, Phoebe, to have that student community and feel safe in a city probably helps with that quite a lot.
Yeah, the next question is about the scholarship. Phương Thanh, she is now in high school, and she asked if she can prepare for, applying for scholarship from the university, and is that the extracurriculum activity is a must while applying for the scholarship?
I wouldn't say it's a must when applying for a scholarship, but I do think it helps when I was talking about how extracurricular activities provide you with transferable skills. Being able to articulate that in a scholarship application is really vital. We are actually at the minute currently reviewing our scholarship offering. And I have asked for Vietnam to remain included on that list. So we have a range of scholarships available. We have kind of more basic kind of £4,000 discount scholarships, right up to kind of 50%, 100% scholarships as well, but those are obviously very limited. But all the information around scholarships when we have our new scholarship offering will be posted on our website, and we kind of tell our network of partners about them as well, so that they can talk to you about them when you're choosing the right university for you. But I don't think there's nothing specific that we look for. We do have some academic criteria that we would expect scholarship students to reach. But other than that, it's more about you and how Newcastle aligns with your kind of career goals and ambitions. It's not necessarily about how many sports teams you were in high school. It's not like that.
Yeah. How about Phoebe? Did you have any scholarship when you applied?
I did have scholarship for like 10 countries in Asia back in those days, but my family had to cover like accommodation. I was just receiving scholarship for my tuition fees, which was good already. So because I think the benefits that I earned from studying at Newcastle was outweighing so I don't even mind. And there's one thing I just want to add is that like one of the strong point when you decide to study at Newcastle University was that like it's very stable. It's really because like 10 years ago there was kind of a lot of people complained about the rising of the currency, foreign currency. So I was hesitating about studying in the UK or in Australia, to be honest. Well, I don't know whether should I say this because it's already like different, but like the UK was one of the most country that offer very stable tuition fee for the students. So I think that's one of the most memorable thing for me when I was a student. So
so think about that time. How did it change your life? And
it totally changed my life. Well, I studied before going to England to study, I was already going to work. I worked for the radio 1 year before the master course in Newcastle. So I didn't, I was almost like abandoned my dream to go abroad and study, because at that time I worked already for one of the most leading radio broadcaster in Vietnam, which like a dream job for everyone. So I did not have to go out to earn any certification or qualification to complete my career path. But because first of all, I got the scholarship very accidentally just by one interview with the, like two people, I mean, from Newcastle, two international student expert from Newcastle. I don't know exactly what it, their kind of position, but exactly I got like the interview with them. And the second was like, I think because when it was at the university in Vietnam, I studied foreign trade, export and import, which sounded not really relevant to what I am working right now. So when I worked for Voice of Vietnam for the national radio, I was like, no, it's not my major. I'm so nervous working with a lot of people, a lot of journalists and reporters, while I didn't have any skill. So when I got the scholarship, I decided to go and to study. Then I went to the UK with an arrogance that my English was good. And then just 1 year after the course, I returned to Vietnam, and there are going to be more opportunities for me, waiting for me in Vietnam. Let alone there is still a lot of job opportunities in the UK. I went to the UK without ever thinking about like going back, or because I thought that studying abroad was already kind of a privilege for a Vietnamese student back in those days. So when you return back to Vietnam with an excellent certificate, graduate from one of the top-notch university, like especially in the UK, then you will of course easily like get a job. When I got back to Vietnam, I also received a lot of opportunities, but I think media and communications in Vietnam is totally different from any other part of the world. But in the UK, I've learned a lot of skills. I think skills, knowledge are like, laying the foundation for everything that you are doing for the rest of your life. So with good communication, you can do whatever you think, whatever you like. So going back to VOV, back to the broadcaster, I had another opportunity to work for the bank as a communication expert. Worked for an NGO like USAID, kind of a US organization. And I also got the opportunity to work for one of the biggest Australian mining company here in Vietnam. A lot of job opportunities, but then I still, after some kind of the chance working for them, I decided to go back to VOV, which I think media is still like running in my blood. So I've been working for VOV for the past 15 years, and I've learned. I keep learning every day. So I think Newcastle Media and Public Relations faculty taught me a lot. which is more about the communication. I think communication is like always of the top requirements for you when you apply for any kind of job. So that's the thing. So it's like to let profession chasing you. You know, I'm that type of person. I'm not chasing the job, but because I got like very good. But I think, yeah, my communication is not that bad. So that like a lot of chances of a lot of professions are following me, luckily. So I think it's one of the things that the media and our communication student can benefit from.
Thank you. Oh, okay. We have another. I think that I have a question from Minh Thái Do, but he sent directly to me. And yeah, I think that I will share it with you. Yeah. He said, I'm quite curious about the digital elements of media and communications. Studying how to write or how to communicate alone won't be enough to prepare students for the long term. In fact, those are core life skills that everyone needs in their daily life. In the future, what might set someone apart?
I can help to answer some of it.
So how can Newcastle University ensure that media and communication continue to be relevant by incorporating in the latest technological trend into the curriculum? Yes, I think this is your question, Lauren.
It's a very good question. And I think, you know, as we were saying earlier, kind of media and communications, it's constantly changing in terms of technological advances. In terms of the skills you would develop on a Newcastle media program, you develop a wide variety of skills that are extremely useful for media journalism, careers such as kind of analysis, research, teamwork, flexibility, an independent approach to tasks, and the ability to kind of work to a brief and meet deadlines. You'd be kind of exposed to a broad commercial and cultural awareness of the media and creative industries, not just from our academic staff, but also media practitioners. And the reason I mention those media practitioners, they are key in keeping us relevant and keeping us kind of up to date with the latest technological trends, and making sure that the curriculum we're offering is state of the art, and it's at a level where our students are going to be prepared as soon as they head into industry. So that might be things like on our film and media program, making sure we've got the most up-to-date cameras so that when people go and get a job, they know what they're doing when they use them. And just making sure that we're on top of it, and that's why our media practitioners are really key, but our academic staff are also really key. Alongside kind of teaching our students, they're conducting their own research as well, which means they're constantly in the field learning about kind of the future of media and communications and what it's going to mean. They're the ones leading the way, and that's what I mean when I say we're a world leading research university. We are at the forefront, and we will be able to make sure that our standards and our curriculum lives up to those kind of modern expectations and those modern technologies. It's a very good question though, and I anything further, if you want to know anything further about kind of the research we're conducting and what we're doing, I'd be more than happy. I can share that with Alex. That's fine. Phoebe, do you have anything to add?
Well, I think, yes, I think I can help a bit in terms of technological and the risk for this media student, because I'm working already with the, like the media companies. So every journalist in my company are worrying about their future when they face up with the technology advancement. And with the AI, with the emerging technology that, lessens the burden for the journalist, but it also risks their future. But I have to say, I've been talking to one of the top editor-in-chief of ABC, the Australian kind of news, and he always mentioned about the core value of communication and journalism. you know, technology can give you the tool, but it will never ever be able to replace analyze whether or not it's trustful. And that's one of the key things for any media organization. So wherever you are, whenever you are, being still the most important thing. So I think for Newcastle University, what it means by teaching you not just like the skills, but also the core value of becoming the one who working in the communication, who are like taking the responsibility of providing the trustworthy and trustful information to the audiences. So I think which cannot be replaced by any technology or AI.
Thank you.
And also he mentioned about the how to write, right? Is that like the question that he mentioned?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he mentioned about like studying how to write, how to communicate. You know, AI or whatever technology is, they learn to write from human being. It's as human being teach you to write. So AI generates information from the prompt, from the input. So I think Newcastle or any other universities, what the teachers, what the expert deliver to you is like the value, you know, the way to be able to survive in that kind of very competitive, you know, market, not just the technology, because technology you can learn it yourself, right? There's a lot of, you know, things that you can search and surf the internet and you can learn it just by night. But the core value of it is like, oh, just something, you know, it's invaluable and you have to learn from others.
Thank you, Phoebe. Thank you so much for your comment. Yeah, I would like to say that IAE Global would like to send to all those students that have very good question today a small gift. So please kindly check your message. I have just sent to you a private message, and I hope that we will have your contact detail as soon as possible after this, and then we can IAE Global can send to you our gift. Yeah, if you guys, students, if you do not have any question, then I think it's about, you know, 8 minutes late because we have a very good warm-up start. So I would like to say thank you so much for Lauren and Phoebe that you are here today. Share with the students, and please kindly you know, Lauren, can you share with me the emails that you have, and Phoebe, if you are okay? Yeah, okay.
Sure.
Thank you. I can like collect all the questions from our students and send to you guys after this webinar.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, that's fine. I can send you my contact details. That's fine.
Or by the way, if you need any internship in my company, just go directly to me. I can offer some.
I hope that we can meet each other, you know, together physically here in Hanoi.
I
Sure.
hope so
Yeah.
too.
Okay.
Thank
So
you, everyone.
thank you so much. We do
Thank you,
appreciate
everybody.
your time and also the time of our student as well. And thank you, and hope to see you soon.
Thank you, Lauren. Thank you, Alice. Thank you,
Bye,
everyone.
Yeah,
everyone.
hope you
Bye.
guys have a good night. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah.